Good morning, everybody. We're back out here working on the old MR-2 Spyder. Trying to tie up all the loose ends, get everything all good to go, so we can go ahead and fire this puppy up. I got a brand new billet shifter for it. It also came with a new bracket, and this bracket's a little different. It's got that angle to it, so I think I'm going to use it. Brand new cables. I got a new parking brake cable for the driver's side because the current one is just hanging and dangling. All sorts of stuff. Some brackets for a seat. I'm going to get the EVAP stuff out of there. Just a whole bunch of little loose ends that need to happen to get everything ready to go. And that way she'll be ready for her first fire up. So come along with us. We're gonna get this brand new shifter bolted in there and see if we can't make it work. Definitely gonna need some larger washers, but that'll be all right. Let's see what we're working with. Oh yeah, look at that. Flawless fit. All right, let's get these cables fed on through there. I got this new shift bracket here so that I can mount my cables off the back of the transmission. The only problem is the countershaft weight right there. That counterweight on the shifter is going to be a problem. So I have to cut this counterweight off the shift selector so that my bracket will fit on there and I can run my line from the back because it just wasn't set up to be run that way. So let's go ahead and hack that thing off right now. Got that counterweight taken off, so now we can fit our bracket down there. So I have struggled and struggled to get the shift cables on there, and they will not work with this bracket. This is the second bracket that I've tried. Neither one of these are the right length. Even with their cables, they're not the right length. I think with factory cables it might work, but with the cables that came with it, it does not work. The whole thing needs to be about 1 inch longer on both of those. So what I'm going to do is cut out 2 little pieces of metal, trim up these welds right here so this part comes off, and just extend the whole thing out another 1 inch and move these forward. That way I can set up the shifter and the cables. All right, now that I got that off, I can go ahead and extend out this plate. All together, not the prettiest thing. I thought I'd forgot how to weld because it had been 20 years since I had used a stick welder. But come to find out, I just had a bad ground, and once I got that solved, it was no problem at all. Looks really janky, I know, but hey, gotta relearn somehow, right? Now we can paint it on up and then attach our shift cables. After even more modification, I ended up bolting it on there, tried it out, it did not work. This is what I've ended up on. I've had to extend that right side up quite a bit because it was so low that it was dragging against the vent tube, even without the plug on it. And so that's just not tall enough. With the combination of me having to extend it out and all, I'm just gonna go ahead and make a whole new bracket. I'm gonna use this one that I got right here, cut the top off of it, and just pretty much put a flat plate on there, make my own ends that are the right height, and just make a whole new bracket, because this, not only does it look bad, but now it's all atrocious. So I'm going to bolt this one on there just to make sure that it works and that the dimensions are correct, and then we'll go from there. As long as it works, I'll probably leave it for now and just go ahead and make a new one, and we'll swap them the next time that I take the transmission out. But just know, if you're planning on buying this shifter right here from this company, you know, I don't like to really disparage anyone, but it's not that it's bad quality, it's just that everything on it is wrong. So you're not going to just bolt this on and go. It's a nice looking piece, man, don't get me wrong, but I had a problem with the brass there was pushing down, and so what I had to do was take off these 2 bolts on the bottom. There's actually a set screw inside there, and I had to just run it all the way down until it stopped. It seems like it might have fixed it, but I can't really tell because I don't have the cables in it anymore. But once I get it in the car, I'll know. The bracket, like I said, you're gonna have to make your own bracket. The cables aren't half bad. They are pretty decent. But the only problem is that they'll only work with one of these aftermarket shifters, because like if I had cables that would connect to a stock shifter at this point, I would just probably use it. But we're gonna get this bolted in there and see what can happen. I just wanted to give you all a little PSA about this shifter in particular. I've used other parts from them that weren't too bad, but this is another story. I really hope that we're good to go now. If not, I'm going to be quite bummed. I have fooled with this so much over the last few days and just really kind of regretting my decision, wishing I just plopped down the money for a hybrid racing or a OEM RSX shifter and cables at this point. Throw the shift knob on here and we should be good to go. This thing is really good looking, I will give them that. Let's see what we got. First, second, third, fourth. Oh, we're fixed, fellas. We are good, boys. Look at that. Brass isn't moving down anymore like it was. Fifth is kind of hard to find. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. There we go. Okay. Now the big question, reverse. We're good. Here's all our linkages, all nice and secured. Go ahead and slide that on down. And there we are, good to go. Not the prettiest thing, that is for sure. But hey, it works. And I'll go ahead and start making up a new bracket with these same dimensions. That way when we pull the transmission out, we can just swap it out. But until then, this will get us down the road. So the last thing I have to do is take off this damaged parking brake so I can replace it. There's quite a few bolts holding it on. We got one there, one there, one there. Quite a few. Then we can pull it on out and go ahead and replace it. The passenger one, although it looks good because it still has an end on it and all, it is froze up. I'm going to see if I can't maybe get it to come unstuck. But if not, I guess I'll have to replace it too. But let's go ahead and throw this one on now so we'll be able to launch this car. That was pretty easy. Here I got a brand new cable fresh from Japan, so let's throw it on the car. All right, there we are, good to go. Just clip that in and we'll be ready to rock and roll. I had to make this bracket for the other side because for some reason my car does not have the bracket for the cable, but it does have a spot to bolt it. However, I need an M10 by 125 and I don't have one, but I'll get one and throw that on there. Everything else seems to be functioning really good, so looks like we're good to go on the parking brake. But that's about all for this one. I think I'm going to end it off here. Still have a little bit more work to do. I have to get the battery box mounted up, the last little bit of electrical done, and I have this whole giant pile of parts that I have to start fitting back to the car, all these body parts, but not too much. We'll be back for one more episode and then we're gonna fire this puppy up, so stay tuned for that. And thank y'all for watching. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you again real soon.